Once upon a time, in the heart of Zululand, there stood a sacred baobab tree that was so old, it had witnessed the rise and fall of many generations, its thick trunk twisted towards the sky, and its roots dug deep into the earth, as though holding on to secrets long forgotten. This was no ordinary tree, the elders often spoke of its magic, and everyone in the village knew that it was a place of great importance. Among the people of the village, there was a group of young women who were known as the Isicholo Maidens. These maidens wore the beautiful red Isicholo hats, wide-brimmed and woven from grass and clay. The hats were a sign of respect and tradition, passed down through generations of Zulu women. Each maiden took pride in her Isicholo, and they would often gather to dance, celebrating their heritage and sisterhood. One day, as the sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows across the land, the eldest of the maidens, Nandi, called for a special gathering beneath the baobab tree. "Sisters," she said, her voice calm but full of excitement, "tonight, we will dance under the full moon, but there is something more. I had a dream last night, a dream of the baobab tree." The other maidens gasped, for dreams were often seen as messages from the ancestors. In her dream, Nandi saw the roots of the tree glow with a golden light, as though something magical was hidden deep beneath the earth. "We must discover what the ancestors are trying to tell us," she continued. "Our dance tonight will lead us to the secret." Though some of the maidens felt uneasy, most were curious and excited. They trusted Nandi, for she was wise and had always led them well, and so, as the moon rose high, the Isicholo maidens prepared to uncover the mystery that awaited them beneath the ancient baobab tree. As night fell, the Isicholo maidens dressed in their finest attire. Their skirts were made of colorful beads and cloth, swaying with every step. Their bare feet kissed the soft earth as they moved gracefully, their Isicholo hats proudly perched on their heads. The moonlight bathed the baobab tree in a soft, silver glow, making it look even more magical. The maidens formed a circle around the tree, their hearts beating in unison. Nandi, standing in the center, raised her arms to the sky. "Let us begin the dance," she said softly, and the maidens began to move. Their feet tapped lightly on the ground, following the rhythm of the drum that one of the younger maidens, Zola, played. The sound echoed in the stillness of the night, mixing with the whisper of the wind. As they danced, the air seemed to thicken with a strange energy, something powerful and ancient. It was as if the earth itself was listening, waiting. Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet trembled. The maidens gasped but continued dancing, their movements now slower and more cautious. Then, without warning, a soft glow appeared at the base of the baobab tree. It was the same golden light that Nandi had seen in her dream. The maidens stopped dancing, eyes wide with amazement. The light grew brighter and brighter until it illuminated the entire tree. "Look!" cried Zola, pointing to the roots. "Something is happening." The ground began to crack open, and the roots of the baobab shifted, revealing a hidden entrance. The maidens stepped back in awe, their hearts pounding with excitement and fear. Nandi took a deep breath and stepped forward. "The ancestors have shown us the way," she said. "We must enter." Nandi led the maidens to the entrance that had opened beneath the baobab tree. The golden light continued to glow, guiding them as they cautiously descended into the earth. The air inside was cool and smelled of damp soil and ancient things. As they ventured deeper, the walls of the tunnel began to shimmer with strange symbols and marks the maidens had never seen before. "Do you think it's safe?" asked one of the younger maidens, Ayo, her voice trembling. Nandi nodded, though she herself was unsure. "The ancestors would not lead us here if it wasn't meant to be. We must be brave." After what seemed like a long walk, the tunnel opened into a wide, underground chamber. At the center of the chamber was a large, circular stone glowing with the same golden light that had led them there. Surrounding the stone were carvings of women wearing the Isicholo hats, just like the maidens. "What is this place?" whispered Zola. Nandi stepped closer to the glowing stone and gently touched its surface. The moment her fingers brushed against it, the stone began to hum with energy. The carvings on the walls shimmered, and the ground trembled once more. "This is the heart of the baobab," Nandi said in awe. "It is a gift from the ancestors, passed down through generations of Zulu women. The Isicholo Maidens are the protectors of this sacred place." Suddenly, the light from the stone grew brighter, and an image appeared in the air above Ida, an image of a beautiful woman dressed in flowing robes and wearing a golden Isicholo hat. Her voice echoed through the chamber. "You have found the secret, my daughters. The baobab tree is the source of life and wisdom. You must guard it well, for it holds the power to protect our people." The maidens fell to their knees, overwhelmed by the presence of the ancient spirit. "We will protect it," Nandi promised. "We will not let the secret be lost." As the ancient spirit's voice faded, the chamber grew silent, and the glowing light dimmed, but the air was thick with the presence of the ancestors, and the maidens knew that their task had only just begun. Suddenly, a low rumble echoed through the chamber, and the ground began to shake once more. The maidens huddled together in fear, unsure of what was happening. Then, from the shadows, figures began to emerge. They were tall and imposing, their faces hidden beneath the same red Isicholo hats that the maidens wore. "Who are they?" whispered Ao, clutching Nandi's arm. "They are the spirits of the Isicholo Maidens who came before us," Nandi replied, her voice steady. "They have come to test us." The spirits circled the maidens, their movements slow and deliberate. One of the spirits, the tallest among them, stepped forward. "To protect the secret of the baobab, you must prove yourselves worthy," she said in a voice that echoed through the chamber. "You will face 3 challenges, one for courage, one for wisdom, and one for unity." The maidens exchanged nervous glances. They had not expected to be tested, but they knew they could not turn back now. The first challenge came swiftly. A great wind blew through the chamber, whipping the maidens' skirts and nearly knocking them off their feet. "Stand firm," Nandi shouted above the roar of the wind. "We must face this with courage." The maidens held hands, standing tall against the wind, though it threatened to sweep them away. They did not falter. The wind howled louder and louder, but the maidens remained rooted to the ground, like the baobab itself. Finally, the wind died down, and the spirits nodded in approval. "The second challenge," the tall spirit said, "is one of wisdom. You must solve the riddle of the baobab." The spirit then spoke the riddle. "I am as old as the earth, yet I grow new every day. I hold the sky and the stars in my arms, but my feet never leave the ground. What am I?" The maidens fell silent, thinking hard. Zola was the first to speak. "The baobab tree," she exclaimed. "It is as old as the earth, yet its leaves grow new each season. It stands tall, holding the sky in its branches, but its roots are always in the ground." The spirits smiled. "You have answered wisely." With 2 challenges passed, the maidens faced their final test. The third challenge, the tall spirit said, is one of unity. "You must show that you are as one, as the branches of the baobab tree are many, yet all connected." The spirits began to fade into the shadows, leaving the maidens alone in the chamber. The light from the stone grew dimmer, and the walls of the chamber seemed to close in. "We must not be afraid," Nandi said, taking the hands of the maidens on either side of her. "We are stronger together." The maidens joined hands in a circle around the glowing stone, their hearts beating as one. As they stood together, the golden light began to shine brighter once more. The chamber filled with warmth, and the spirits reappeared, their faces now visible and filled with pride. "You have proven yourselves worthy," the tall spirit said. "The secret of the baobab is safe with you. Remember, It is not only your duty to protect this place, but to live as one, united and strong. The spirits began to fade once more, and the chamber trembled as the ground began to close over the entrance. The Isicholo Maidens were lifted gently to the surface by the magic of the baobab tree. The entrance ceiling shut behind them, the golden light faded, leaving only the peaceful glow of the moon above. The maidens stood in silence, their hearts full of the wisdom they had gained. They knew that their lives had changed forever. The baobab tree had entrusted them with its ancient secret, and they would protect it with all their strength. From that day forward, the Isicholo Maidens continued to dance beneath the baobab tree, but now their dance was not only a celebration of their heritage, but a promise to protect the ancient secret, and to keep the bond of unity that had made them strong. And so, the story of the Isicholo Maidens and the baobab tree lived on, passed down through the generations, as a reminder that courage, wisdom, and unity are the true strengths of the Zulu people.
In the heart of savannah, where the winds do sing, stories of the ancients from the village ring. Underneath the baobab where the wise ones dwell, tales of the lion, the moon, and the gazelle.
Gather round, gather close, let the stories unfold. Whispers of the past and the voices of the old. From the mountains to the rivers, to the forest and the plain, the spirit of Africa lives in every name.
A hare once tricked the mighty with his clever ways. A crocodile in the river waits for prey each day. The stars above remember the footsteps of the past, carrying the wisdom so the tales will last.
Gather round, gather close, let the stories unfold. Whispers of the past in the voices of the old. From the mountains to the rivers, through the forests and the plains, the spirit of Africa lives in every name.
Beneath the moonlight, around the fire's glow, these ancient tales are the seeds we sow. Children, listen closely for the tales you'll hear. Carry the truth that's passed down year by year.
Gather round, gather close, let the stories unfold. Whispers of the past in the voices of the old. From the mountains to the rivers, through the forests and the plains, the spirit of Africa lives in every name.